Have you ever walked into the kitchen, then stopped and asked yourself, now why did I come in here? Or maybe someone tells you a name, and just a few minutes later, it's completely gone. Perhaps you set your reading glasses down, only to spend the next 10 minutes searching the whole house. Sound familiar? If you're over 60, you're definitely not alone. Many older adults notice their memory doesn't feel quite as sharp as it once did, and that's exactly why so many people start looking for brain foods. They search online, they ask friends, they watch videos, they buy expensive supplements, they fill their grocery cart with foods they've been told are good for the brain. But here's the question. What if you've already tried the obvious ones? What if you've already added the foods everyone talks about? Yet you're still wondering if there are other everyday choices worth knowing. That's exactly why today's video is different. Because I know you've already tried multiple brain foods, but have you tried these after 60? The foods we're about to discuss aren't magic. They won't suddenly give you a perfect memory, and they certainly won't erase normal age-related changes overnight. But each one provides nutrients that support normal brain function and can become part of a healthy eating pattern for adults over 60. Even better, you don't have to search specialty stores. You can find every one of them at everyday grocery stores across the United States. Before we get started, here's something I'd like you to remember. Taking care of your brain isn't about chasing one miracle food. It's about making small, consistent choices. Breakfast after breakfast, lunch after lunch, dinner after dinner. Those everyday habits matter far more than most people realize. So let's begin with a food that surprises almost everyone. Many people walk right past it. Others think of it as nothing more than a snack. Some only buy it during the holidays, but very few think of adding it to their routine when they're looking for foods that support healthy brain function. Let's see why it deserves today's first spot. 1. Pistachios. Pistachios have been around for centuries, but they're often overlooked whenever people start talking about foods for the brain. You've probably heard people recommend fish, or berries, or leafy greens. And while those foods certainly have their place, pistachios deserve a little attention too. These small green nuts provide healthy, unsaturated fats, along with vitamin B6 and other nutrients that support your body's normal functions. Vitamin B6 plays a role in normal brain function, and that's one reason pistachios fit so well into a balanced eating pattern. The best part? They're incredibly easy to enjoy. Grab a small handful as an afternoon snack. Sprinkle them over oatmeal. Mix them into yogurt, or add them to a fresh salad for a little extra crunch. Healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated sometimes. The simplest foods are the easiest habits to keep. If you've already tried the brain foods everyone talks about, maybe it's time to give a little attention to one that's been quietly sitting on the grocery shelf all along. Now, let's head to another part of the store. This next food isn't flashy, it isn't expensive, and chances are you've walked past it dozens of times without giving it a second thought. Yet, it contains a nutrient that's often discussed whenever healthy aging and normal brain function come up. Let's uncover what it is. 2. Asparagus. Asparagus may not be the first vegetable that comes to mind when people think about brain health. In fact, many shoppers walk right past it. They head for the vegetables they buy every week, never realizing they're overlooking another nutritious choice. And that's exactly why it belongs on today's list. If you've already filled your plate with the brain foods everyone recommends, why not give this one a closer look? Asparagus naturally provides folate. Folate is a B vitamin that plays an important role in normal cell function and supports normal brain function. It's one of those nutrients your body depends on every single day. The nice thing about asparagus is how easy it is to prepare. Roast it with a little olive oil, steam it until it's tender, or serve it alongside grilled chicken or fish. Simple, fresh, and perfect for a weeknight dinner. Sometimes the smartest grocery store choices aren't the ones with the loudest advertisements. They're the ones waiting in the produce aisle. Now, the next food has become incredibly popular over the past several years. You may have seen it at family gatherings, inside wraps, blended into creamy spreads, or sitting on a platter during game day. Most people enjoy it because it tastes good. Very few stop to think about the nutrition hiding inside. Let's take a closer look. 3. Chickpeas. Whether you enjoy them whole, roasted until they're crispy, or blended into hummus, chickpeas are one of the most versatile foods you can keep in your kitchen. If someone asked you to name foods that support brain health, chickpeas probably wouldn't be your first answer. And that's exactly why they deserve a place in this video. They naturally provide folate, plant protein, fiber, and minerals that contribute to overall health. Protein is important throughout the body, and foods rich in fiber can also help support overall wellness as part of a balanced eating pattern. One thing I really like about chickpeas is how easy they are to work into everyday meals. Toss them into a salad, add them to homemade soup, mix them into a grain bowl, or enjoy hummus with sliced vegetables for a satisfying snack. Healthy eating doesn't have to mean changing everything overnight. Sometimes, one simple swap at lunch or one smarter snack in the afternoon is enough to start building a habit you'll actually stick with. And when it comes to supporting your brain after 60, consistency matters far more than perfection. Now, let's head somewhere almost everyone enjoys visiting, not because they're looking for healthy food, but because they're looking for something delicious. The next choice surprises people every single time it appears on a brain health list, and that's exactly what makes it so interesting. 4. Dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher. Dark chocolate isn't usually the first thing people expect to see in a video about brain-supporting foods. That's probably because most people think of it as a dessert or an occasional treat. But choosing dark chocolate with 70% cocoa or higher is very different from reaching for a regular candy bar. Cocoa naturally contains compounds called flavanols. These plant compounds have been studied for their potential role in supporting healthy blood flow, including blood flow that's important for normal brain function. That doesn't mean dark chocolate is a miracle food, and it certainly doesn't mean eating more is always better. Like anything else, portion size matters. A small piece can fit nicely into a balanced eating pattern. The goal isn't to satisfy a sweet tooth every afternoon. It's to make thoughtful choices that you can enjoy consistently. Here's something I find interesting. When people worry about memory, they often think they have to give up every food they enjoy. But healthy eating doesn't have to feel like a punishment. Sometimes, making room for a sensible portion of a food you genuinely enjoy can make healthy habits much easier to maintain. And those habits, repeated week after week, are what truly matter. If you've already tried the brain foods everyone recommends, maybe the answer isn't finding something more expensive. Maybe it's discovering foods you simply never thought to include before. Now, the next food has a deep, rich color that naturally stands out in the produce section. Many people buy it because it tastes great. Others enjoy it during the summer months. But there's much more to this fruit than its sweet flavor. Let's find out why it earned a place on today's list. 5. Blackberries. Blackberries may be small, but they're packed with nutrition. These berries naturally provide fiber, vitamin C, and plant compounds called anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are the pigments that give blackberries their deep purple color. Researchers have studied these compounds for their role in supporting overall brain health as part of a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. That's one reason colorful produce is often encouraged in healthy eating patterns. Blackberries are also incredibly easy to enjoy. Add them to your morning oatmeal, stir them into plain yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or simply enjoy a handful as an afternoon snack. No complicated recipes, no expensive ingredients, just real food that's easy to find in grocery stores across the United States. Here's something worth remembering. The foods that support healthy aging aren't always the ones making headlines. Sometimes they're the quiet choices sitting in your shopping cart every single week. And over time, those quiet choices begin adding up. One nutritious breakfast, one balanced lunch, one healthier snack, day after day. That's how lasting habits are built. Now, there's one final food left on today's list, and I have a feeling many people haven't considered it for brain health before. In fact, some only think about it during one particular season of the year. But once you learn what's inside, you may find yourself looking at it a little differently on your next trip to the grocery store. 6. Pumpkin may remind you of the holidays, a family gathering, a homemade pie, or a favorite seasonal recipe. But once the season passes, many people forget about it until the following year. And that's a shame, because pumpkin is much more than a holiday tradition. It's a nutritious food that deserves a place on your table throughout the year. Pumpkin naturally provides vitamin A, along with vitamin E and other antioxidants that help protect your body's cells from oxidative stress. Those nutrients are part of the reason pumpkin fits so well into an overall healthy eating pattern. The great thing is, you don't have to wait until fall to enjoy it. Many grocery stores carry canned pumpkin all year long. Just make sure you're choosing 100% pure pumpkin rather than pumpkin pie filling, which usually contains added sugar and spices. You can stir it into oatmeal, blend it into a smoothie, mix it into pancake batter, or even add a spoonful to soups for extra creaminess. Simple ideas, simple ingredients. And that's exactly what healthy eating after 60 should feel like. Here's something I hope today's list has shown you. When people search for foods that support memory, they often keep hearing the same recommendations over and over again. But nutritious eating isn't about chasing the most popular food. It's about building variety. Every colorful vegetable, every handful of nuts, every serving of beans, every piece of fruit, every balanced meal contributes to the bigger picture. And that's what supporting your brain is really about. Not one miracle ingredient, but hundreds of smart choices made over time. Now, before we finish, there's one everyday habit that's just as important as the foods on today's list. The best part? It doesn't require another trip to the grocery store. One daily habit. Your brain will thank you for think about the last time you learned something new. Maybe it was a recipe, a grandchild showed you how to use a new app, or you figured out a different route to the grocery store. At first, it probably felt unfamiliar, maybe even a little frustrating. But the more you practiced, the easier it became. Your brain works in a similar way. One of the healthiest habits you can build after 60 is simply giving your brain something new to do on a regular basis. Read a different book, try a new recipe, work on a crossword puzzle, learn a few words in another language, play a card game with friends, or pick up a hobby you've always wanted to try. Keeping your mind active doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the activities you enjoy are often the ones you'll continue doing, and consistency is what matters most. Another simple habit that's often overlooked is getting enough quality sleep. During sleep, your brain carries out many important processes that support overall health. That's one more reason healthy eating, regular movement, staying mentally active, and good sleep all work best together. Because no single food and no single habit can do everything on its own. They become far more powerful when they become part of your everyday lifestyle. Before we wrap up, I'd like you to think about one simple question. When was the last time you forgot someone's name, only to remember it hours later? Or walked into a room and couldn't remember why? Moments like these can feel frustrating, sometimes even a little embarrassing. And after 60, many people quietly wonder if it's simply something they have to accept. But here's what I hope today's video has shown you. Supporting your brain isn't about finding one magical food. It's not about buying the most expensive supplement. And it certainly isn't about believing every headline you read online. It's about building a lifestyle that gives your brain the nutrients it needs, day after day, year after year. Today, we looked at 6 everyday foods that often don't get the attention they deserve. Pistachios, asparagus, chickpeas, dark chocolate with 70% cocoa or higher, blackberries, pumpkin. Each one brings its own combination of nutrients that can become part of a balanced eating pattern supporting healthy aging and normal brain function. Not because any one of them can restore memory overnight, but because your brain, just like the rest of your body, benefits from consistent, nourishing choices over time. The next time you're walking through the grocery store, take a second look at what's already on the shelves. You may discover that the foods you've been searching for have been there all along. And remember, if you've already tried multiple brain foods, maybe the real difference isn't finding something extraordinary. Maybe it's choosing foods you'll actually enjoy and eating them consistently as part of a healthy lifestyle. Because healthy aging isn't about chasing perfection. It's about giving yourself the best chance to stay independent, stay confident, and keep making memories with the people you love. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of today's foods surprised you the most? And which one are you thinking about adding to your grocery list this week? Share your answer in the comments below. If you found today's video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to 60 Plus Food Guide, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we share science-informed food tips, healthy aging advice, and realistic nutrition strategies designed especially for adults over 60. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. Take good care of yourself, keep feeding your body well, keep challenging your mind, and we'll see you in the next video.